This story is about a missing little girl. She's currently missing right now. We need to find her. But there's a problem with how we get to this point, okay? So let me tell you guys the story. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division has been notified of the missing 5-year-old girl right there by the name of Nevaeh Lashy Adams. Again, that is Nevaeh Lashy Adams. We're going to talk about her name, which is a very key piece of information. She is from Sumter, whose mother was found dead where they live at a Lantana Apartments on Monday, but the case does not fit federal guidelines to issue an Amber Alert, officials say. Now, I want to make sure that I do not lose you guys on that. They did not issue an Amber Alert because they say it did not fit guidelines. Now, what do you guys think that the pro-blacks are going to do with that information? They're going to say, well, this little girl was skipped up because she was black. Well, I disagree with that quite a bit for a lot of different reasons. So let's get into this. An Amber Alert emergency broadcast program, if you guys did not know the history, was created in 1996 after a little girl by the name of Amber Hagerman, who was a 9-year-old girl and was abducted and murdered in Texas. Shortly after the incident, residents of her Arlington, Texas hometown requested radio stations in the area broadcast special alerts when other such incidents take place, according to SLED. All right, so some of y'all should be familiar with that. You've heard of Amber Alert, you've heard of Silver Alert, you've heard of these type of alerts. The system is now in place across the country as a voluntary partnership between law enforcement agencies and broadcasters to activate an urgent bulletin information in the most serious child abduction cases. Because they can't do them all, but this is a way for them to kind of expedite that process. Now, here's the catch, because this is the difference between what happened to Nevaeh and them not being able to issue this Amber Alert, because that's very key. Here's the steps. To activate Amber Alert in South Carolina, an investigation must reveal all of the following according to SLED. Here it is. The law enforcement agency believes that the children have been abducted, meaning he or she has been taken from his or her environment unlawfully, without authority of law, and without permission from the child's parent or legal guardian. That's number one. Number two, the child is 17 years of age or younger, and the law enforcement agency believes the child is in immediate danger of serious bodily harm or death. Or if the individual is 18 years old or older, the law enforcement agency believes the individual is at greater risk for immediate danger of serious bodily harm or death because the individuals possess a proven physical or mental disability. Okay? There's another point. All other possibilities for the victim's disappearance have been reasonably excluded. There is sufficient information available to disseminate to the public that could assist in locating the victim, suspect, or vehicle used in the abduction. I'm going to say that part again because I believe this is where we have the discrepancy. To my people, to my American people, I want y'all to hear what I have to say. A key point is there has to be sufficient information available to disseminate to the public that could assist in locating the victim, suspect, or vehicle used in the abduction. Do y'all understand how important that part is? The child's name and other critical data have been entered into NCIC. Do you guys know what NCIC is? Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not super familiar with it. National Crime Information Center. I didn't know that. So that's new to me. It was discovered Nevaeh Lashy Adams, age 5, was missing Monday after a family member found her 29-year-old mother, Cherie Bradley, dead inside her apartment off Carolina Avenue just after 6 p.m. on Monday. Here's the catch. Here's the catch. And please click the thumbs up. Thank you to everybody that's already done that. Like, our show kind of starts out a little bit slower, but it'll spread the word if you guys will share our message and at least click the thumbs up. Thank you to the people that have donated, which is only a few people. For everybody else, I need you guys to click that thumbs up. Contribute to the show. Help out a little bit. Help out, because this little girl is important, okay? I went to about 10 to 15 different websites like I always do. I can't just stop with just one. You can't send me an article. I look at this article and I just take what's on one web page. What I do is I go what they call cross-referencing. I cross-reference about 10 to 15 different web pages. Y'all wonder why it takes me so long to do these stories? Because my stories, in my opinion, are the most comprehensive. I know there's a lot of other people out there that do streams and talk about these children, but I believe that we have a very, very comprehensive collection of information, okay? And from what I found, there were at least 7 websites out of the 15 that I looked at. Some had already corrected it, but the little girl's name was spelled incorrectly. Can people confirm for me that they heard what I just said? If we got 115 likes, we should have 150 likes. We should have a like for everybody watching, so I need those likes to please go up, and I will stop talking about the likes. Please, help me out. 7 out of the 15 websites had her name spelled incorrectly. So if we know now, if we didn't know before, what it takes to qualify for an Amber Alert, then what do you think that means if they have her name spelled incorrectly or are missing information? That's very key. Just heard a few more donations come in. Thank you guys very much. I'm going to make sure and read those off here in just a moment, okay? They had her name spelled incorrectly on multiple websites. So my question would have to be, who called in the Amber Alert, number 1, and number 2, how do you push out the wrong and inaccurate information to authorities trying to locate a missing child? I'm not sure who's responsible for that. The mother in this case has passed away from whatever she passed away from. They haven't totally released that yet, but we're getting ready to talk about that here in a moment. But I thought I'd throw that out there. Okay? Now, a suspect was detained Monday, but Sumner Police Department Public Information Officer Tanya McGirt said at the time that while he was spotted leaving the scene where Bradley's body was found, that investigators have not determined what role, if any, a man, let me get his face up on the screen so y'all can see who I'm talking about. Give me a moment. This guy, his name is Dante Maurice Johnson. He's 28 years old, and he has been detained in question of the child's whereabouts. I want you guys to remember this, because I'm getting ready to call out something because they don't know what a motive is, but I'm getting ready to give you guys a motive. Y'all watched my show long enough. What do y'all think the motive actually was? What do you think that Dante's relationship was with the mother, Cherie Bradley? For something like this to culminate, for a mother to be dead and the child to be missing, what do y'all think happened? I'm looking in the chat. I'm looking to see what y'all are going to say. What do you guys think happened? Because I definitely want to hear what you guys got to say, okay? Now, they said if anybody has any information, they're urged to call 911 or the Sumner Police Department at 803-436-2700 or your nearest local law enforcement agency. You can give information anonymously by calling Crime Stoppers 803-436-2718 or 888-CRIME-SC. Tips can also be submitted to Crime Stoppers by logging in to p3tips.com. That is the letter P as in Paul, the number 3, T as in Tom, I as in ice cream, P as in Paul, S as in Sam.com, and clicking on submit a tip. tab by downloading the new P3 Tips app for Apple and Android. Damn, that's a lot. They described the child as 4'3" tall, weighing about 50 pounds, and has braided black hair with colored beads. But I want you guys to remember that they got her name wrong. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. And I believe, I'm telling you guys now, so when any family members contact me and email me, you don't know the whole story. I don't have to know the whole story, okay? I do know that you have a man that looks like he's within the range of dating this woman, which looks pretty typical, right? The fact that this girl is not her son's, this little girl is not the daughter of the man that killed her mom, but the little girl is missing. But I do know who the biological father is, and I have a video of him on tape, so I at least know that that man is not the biological father. The biological father has heard from. This sounds like a boyfriend. A boyfriend dating a thug situation gone wrong. That's exactly what this sounds like. How many stories have I done all year long? You guys know what this narrative is. Y'all can smell it by now. The suspect in the mother's murder is Dante Maurice Johnson, 28 years old, also known as Dante Johnson, and he's from Hillsdale, Missouri. Sumner Police spokesperson Tanya McGirt said Tuesday that 28-year-old Dante is trying to help police find Nevaeh Lashy Adams' body. Okay? Now, authorities say that Johnson was arrested Monday after he was seen running away from Sumner apartment where a family member found 29-year-old Cherie Bradley dead. Police have not said how she was killed yet. According to the police, during the course of an interview, Johnson said that he killed Bradley. I'm going to read that part again. In a police interview, Dante Maurice Johnson said that he killed Bradley, whom he was acquainted with, and her daughter. He also provided information that could help police locate her. Thank you, Shanta. Hashtag babies for benefits. Thank you, K. Wash. Said date thugs, you date death. I want you guys to always remember, if y'all ever see anybody type that in anybody's chat room or post that comment anywhere, you make sure and tell them that they got that from the AFC, the Advocates for Children, from DJ Just Jay show. Holla if you hear me. You heard? Let them know, man, because I think it's important. I've grew up around thugs and criminals and gangsters and all of that stuff. And I'm just telling you that if I come from that environment, then I can call it out if something is wrong. How many of you guys agree with that? If you participated in doing wrong, then I believe it is your responsibility as a law-abiding citizen to call out what you know is wrong. That's being a responsible adult, and that's being a responsible parent. If you care about your kids, then I think that you should also care about your community and your society and your country, okay? Thought I'd throw that out there. A preliminary investigation by Sumner County Coroner's Office determined Bradley had been dead for several hours before she was found. Based on the information gathered, police think Adams was killed at around the same time as her mother. McGirt said Johnson is also a suspect. I want you guys to catch this. Johnson is also a suspect in a homicide in the city of St. Louis. She said that the homicide occurred sometime this summer. According to court records, Johnson is from Hillsdale, Missouri. He is currently charged with murder. And we're getting ready to hear from the biological father. Man, this is just getting crazier and crazier. They said that he was acquainted with her. No, he was screwing her. That's what it was. Let's go ahead and get this fair use popping, and we'll go ahead and let you guys hear what actually happened per the videos. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Sumter police are asking for your help tonight to find a missing girl after her mother was found dead. She's 5-year-old Nevaeh Adams. Her mother, a 29-year-old Cherie Bradley, was found dead inside her home at Lantana Apartments in Sumter. That's off of Carolina Avenue near Highway 378. Police say they were called after 6 tonight when a family member found Bradley's body. No word on how she died. An autopsy is set for tomorrow. Meanwhile, 28-year-old Dante Johnson has been arrested. He was seen running away from the scene, and police haven't said if Johnson is connected to the missing girl at this point, but right now they are trying to find 5-year-old Nevaeh Adams. She has braided black hair.
I want y'all to look at the screen. This little girl's name is Nevaeh Adams. Can y'all look at that screen? And yes, the second one did come through, Shanta. I did not realize you donated twice. Shanta, if you're listening, sweetheart, I love you for that. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and double tap those right now. Also, thank you to Laura Rodriguez, also who donated a minute ago. So thank you very much. I really, really appreciate y'all's support. Yes, it came through. Right here on the screen. What did they call her? I'm going to rewind this. This is why. I'm not saying this is the entire reason, but I'm saying this is part of it.
Nevaeh Adams.
Y'all hear what they called her?
Right now, they are trying to find 5-year-old Nevaeh Adams. Trying to find 5-year-old Nevaeh Adams.
They're trying to find who?
Trying to find 5-year-old Nevaeh Adams.
Y'all want to know why they weren't able to issue an Amber Alert? Because they did not have the right person or the right name. Who was Nevada? Who was Nevaeh Adams?
Trying to find 5-year-old Nevaeh Adams.
Her name is Nevaeh. And even then, Nevaeh's name was spelled wrong multiple times in multiple different articles that I found. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
She has braided black hair with colored beads. If you know where she is or have seen her or have any information, please call Crime Stoppers or 911.
And I want to call out something real quick if you guys don't mind. This is another reason why I tell you guys that us having all these unique names for our children can hurt us. Did you guys notice that? How many of you guys have heard Tommy talk about this? How many of you guys have heard me talk about this? How many of you guys have heard Relationship Rehab talk about this? Us coming up with these strange, unique names for these children are hurting them in the job world. They're hurting them in the classroom. And now they're hurting them when it comes to police trying to issue an Amber Alert. They don't know who to issue the Amber Alert for. For Nevada. Nevaeh? They don't even know how to spell Nevaeh. And I want you to think about this. Whoever gave them the name didn't know how to spell her name either. So if it was a family member or whoever, couldn't even spell her name right. Think about that for a moment before you get mad.
We begin today with a developing story out of Sumter. The search continues for a missing 5-year-old girl. This missing girl's name is Nevaeh Adams, and she hasn't...
Look at this. Am I just getting lucky today? I haven't even watched all of these videos. I just downloaded them. Look at this on the screen. That is the improper spelling. That is not her right. That is not her right name either. Guys, y'all are looking at on the screen. I didn't even realize this, but that is also not how her name is spelled. According to what I found, the correct spelling of her name is Nevaeh. Nevaeh. They have it as Nevada. They have it as Nevaeh. Tell me where I'm wrong at, guys. Somebody. Nevaeh. Whose name is Nevaeh? Unless that's like some old Native American name. Nevaeh. Running water. I can make that joke. My people are Indian on my mama's side, so I can make that joke. I can get away with that. Nevaeh. Come on, man.
Been seen since last night. Now here's video of Nevaeh provided by her family. Sumter police say her mother, 29-year-old Cherie Bradley, was found dead inside her home at Lantana Apartments in Sumter last night. That's off of Carolina Avenue near Highway 378. Police say they were called to the apartment yesterday around 6 o'clock when a family member found Bradley's body. There's no word yet on how she died, but an autopsy is set for later today. Police say they have made an arrest. This is Dante Johnson. Police say he was caught as he was running away from the home. This mugshot is from a previous arrest last year on misdemeanor charges out of Charlotte. Sumter police haven't said if Johnson is connected to the missing girl at this point. So far, the Sumter community has come together to search for Nevaeh. News 19's Whitney Sullivan is out at the Lantana Apartments.
Just if you guys didn't know, the reason that they came up with the name Nevaeh is because it's heaven backwards. That is correct. So thank you for calling that out. I know how people want to be cute and want to be unique. It's just heaven backwards. So if you want to know how to spell Nevaeh, in this case, unless somebody wants to make it even more unique, if you want to spell her name properly, it's just heaven backwards. And 7 different news articles got it wrong that I looked up. And so far, we just watched 2 videos that had it wrong. 2 news videos that had it wrong. Let's go.
To give us a look at what's been happening so far today, Whitney.
Yeah, Darcy. Well, I've had the opportunity to talk with Nevaeh's family members and friends, and while they are hopeful for a positive outcome, they're hurting. She is a light to so many, especially her father. He's been out here all morning looking for her. I had the
This is the biological father. His name is Dupray Adams. D-U-P-R-A-Y. That's the biological father of Nevaeh. Heaven backwards. We're getting ready to hear from him.
Opportunity to talk with him earlier today, and one of the first questions I asked him is, how are you holding up? How are you dealing with all of this? He immediately broke down. Take a listen.
I am so heavy right now. I am so heavy right now. That's the only thing. That's the only way I can describe how I'm feeling. Just heavy. I hadn't slept. I can't eat. You know, this is my baby. This is my last baby, and I would never think that this would happen to me. So I'm heavy right now.
I know this is a tough moment. What are you hoping comes out from all of this?
That my baby is alive and she's safe. That's the only thing I can hope for right now. That she's alive and she's safe. That's it. That's it. My baby is too precious, man. She is too precious.
Darcy, those words are heartbreaking, just really, really touching you there. And here's the thing, despite these circumstances, even when I talked to the father just about Nevaeh, he could not help but smile, explaining how talented she was, how precious she was, how much of a bright spot she is. We're going to hear more from Nevaeh's father later coming up this evening for News 9. But again, we're going to continue to follow this story. And like I said, a lot of family members and friends out here all looking hopeful for a positive outcome. And
Yes, we're hoping for a positive outcome. And I'm just saying, I know it might not be the situation we want to see as far as him on an emotional level and all of that stuff. But I got to say, at least we heard from a father. Because there are a ton of stories that we do where we don't ever see a father, nor do we hear from one.
We begin this afternoon with breaking news. A Charlotte connection to a missing 5-year-old girl. Authorities, according to authorities, Nevaeh Lashy Adams went.
What did they just call her? I'm going to rewind that again so y'all don't think I'm crazy.
According to authorities, Nevaeh Lashy Adams went. Authorities, Nevaeh Lashy Adams. Nevaeh Lashy Adams.
Are you going to think a black kid, a black little girl, if you hear that name? Listen at this again.
Nevaeh Lashy Adams. Nevaeh Lashy Adams. Nevaeh Lashy Adams. Nevaeh Lashy Adams.
That is not her name. Her name is Nevaeh. Heaven spelled backwards. Nevaeh Adams. Damn.
Nevaeh Lashy Adams went missing after her mother was found dead in their apartment Monday night in Sumter, South Carolina. The suspect in the woman's death is 28-year-old Dahante Maurice Johnson, and according to police, he is from the Queen City. Police say it is unclear what or if any role that he might have in the girl going missing. Anyone with information is asked to call 911 immediately.
Now, one of the big questions we've been getting, we got it on the morning show when we were talking about this and throughout the day, why has law enforcement not issued an Amber Alert? Several calls, people saying they don't understand. Why wasn't an Amber Alert put out for little Nevaeh? And we had those same questions. So our deep dive team looked into the exact criteria for when officials issue an Amber Alert, and here's what we found out for the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. As soon as an abduction is reported, the investigation must reveal all of the following before an Amber Alert can be issued.
Law enforcement must believe the child has been abducted. That child must be 17 years old or younger. Law enforcement must believe the child is in immediate danger of serious bodily harm or even death, and all other possibilities for the victim's disappearance have to have been ruled out.
Well, the criteria goes on to say that in order for an Amber Alert to be issued, there's got to be sufficient information to give the public so that the public can help in the search. Like they need a description of the person who took the child. They also need a description of the vehicle that the child left in. If any of that information can't be determined, then an Amber Alert can't be activated.
So it's not a racist thing. It's just a criteria thing. I have not heard anything about a vehicle description, nor did they even have her name correct. They could not issue an Amber Alert. I sincerely hope that these pro-blacks do not take this and try to flip this narrative and be like, see, look what the white man is doing to us. I hope they don't. Really, really hope they don't get to doing that bull crap.
An Amber Alert must also be activated by police chief or the sheriff's department. So for all those people calling saying, why haven't they done this yet? This was a decision from the Sumter County Sheriff's Department.
Of course.
Just like that. So let me go ahead and wrap this thing up by saying this. First and foremost, whose responsibility is it to keep up with this kid? It is the biological mother's responsibility. Her name again is Cherie Bradley. She is 29 years old. She is not young. She was young. No, she is not. In my opinion, a woman stops becoming young when she starts producing children. Can we agree to that? Can we agree to that? In my opinion, if you're going to allow a female to produce a child, she is no longer young. If she's young, she should not be allowed to produce children. That's fair. Okay? Number two, whose responsibility is it to keep up with this kid? It is the mother's responsibility, right? It is also her responsibility to protect this kid and not put her kid in hurt, harm, or danger's way. This woman decided to date a thug and a criminal by the name of Dahante Maurice Johnson, 28 years old, and was already accused of murder. And it's just so ironic how he now has been found or admitted to, based on what they said in the report, that he murdered Cherie Bradley. And I have to go back and confirm the fact that he also admitted to killing the little girl as well and going to help them find her body. Okay? It is the mother's responsibility to make sure she knows who she's dating. Because in my opinion, you cannot bring a man inside your house around your children if you do not know very well who this individual is. If she knew that he was a murderer, then she just made a flat out bad choice and put her kid in danger, and it cost both of them their lives. If she did not know, then again, it is her responsibility who she chooses to lay down with. Now, this is my whole thing. I don't mind people dating thugs, but you can't have kids. If you have kids, then you can't date people that are a danger to your kids. Holla if you hear me. If you want to date thugs and date death, then you cannot have children, because those children cannot speak for themselves, nor can they defend themselves. Even the women in a lot of these situations can't defend themselves from these thugs. So what do you think that these children are going to be able to do if you put them in hurt, harm, and danger's way? They become victims. And I think that that is very selfish of us, that all we do is we think about our own personal gain, the things that we can get, the pleasure that we can get, the happiness and peace of mind that we can get, and just completely just screw what the children need and what's in the best interest of the children. This is another sad case. This is a cautionary tale. How many of these stories am I going to have to do in order to tell you people that what I'm putting out there is accurate, and you can prove this by way of statistics? Y'all got to get out your feelings, man. Get out your feelings. Miss Good, I'm waiting on a response. Let me see if I can see if she responded yet. Not yet. She says she disagrees, but I mean, you got to type something in the chat to let me know what you're actually disagreeing with. Maybe I can address it here once I close out this stream. But nonetheless, man, another sad tale, and this should be a cautionary tale to all the good women out there, to all the good mothers out there. I know that there's some good mothers, and I know that there's some good fathers. I feel bad for the biological father, again, to Nevaeh Adams, that, you know, this was kind of out of his control, because once he's not in a relationship with that mother anymore, then his, what do you call it? What am I trying to say? What he has the ability to do in his daughter's life outside of just pumping money into that household becomes very limited. He doesn't have very much legal stature to be able to do a damn thing. So, you know, he's just kind of helpless. And a lot of us fathers out here are helpless, and we are at the mercy of whatever these mothers decide to do. Okay? But I hope that what we found out about him, if it's true, then lock him up, throw away the key. It's the end of the story. It's sad, and we don't need to keep continuing to just keep, you know, doing these stories and just overlooking it like the things that we're doing in our daily lives don't matter. Every day that we put our children around danger, that's a day that could end up being their last. And I want to say R.I.P. to Nevaeh Lashy Adams. I'm pretty sure that they're going to end up just discovering her body. In my opinion, there's no need to do a part 2 to this unless we find out how many years that the boyfriend got for doing this. But it's sad, and I hope that they get justice, and I hope that they throw you know, just lock this dude up, man. Straight up like that. This is your boy DJ Just Jay. I'm signing out, man. Thank you guys so much. Prayer hands up. That's the end of the stream.